Yes, what's popular YouTube? Another day, another demo. We're here to talk about arT's and how art died to NiKo every single round on the CT side of Nuke in a very important match at the Blast Global Finals. But before we do that, congratulations to Navi for winning the Blast Global Finals. $600,000 for first place. All the prestige of winning a tournament that was completely stacked to the brim with talent, including the top 3 and 4 teams, I believe. And I mean, it wasn't an easy one. Double elimination bracket. They had to be Vitality and Astralis in the same day, in the same 7 hours, to be able to win the event. This was a situation where at the Blast Fall Finals, Astralis played against. They came from the lower bracket. They played against Big on the finals day in the best of 3. They beat them 2-0. Then they played against Vitality. They lost, and then they went on Twitter and were like, "Oh, we didn't have enough gas." Well, they didn't. Navi did. Navi did. Okay, Navi totally had enough gas. The exact same situation. 2 harder teams beat them both. Underdogs in both. Completely dumpstered Astralis. It was a huge win for Navi. Full credit to them. And it's not the ideal, that's also just to say, it's not the ideal situation to have a tournament where the, 2 teams, one team has to play 2 matches in a day. But of course, it's just a logistical thing. Like, formats are something that's holding back, that have held back CSGO tournaments and all tournaments and everything for a long time, where, you need best of 3s. You want a best of 5. You need a certain amount of show days. You can't extend because it just costs an astronomical amount of money to be able to run the show for an extra day. These kinds of things, but unfortunately, this is the state of it. That's the result we got, and we got the kind of most interesting result possible with the Navi win. That's huge. Now, yesterday I recorded this video and I did it without any audio. So basically, I totally fucked up last night, and now now I have to do the same video again today. I'm gonna pretend like it never recorded yesterday, and I have the memory of a goldfish anyway, so I won't remember. But if you guys like the videos, If you have something that you're thinking about the videos, comment under the videos. YouTube, it's just like every time we upload something different or take any days off, YouTube's like, oh, screw you. We don't want to even support the content that people are looking for that you made before, and it starts punishing by not putting the videos in the sub boxes that it would already go to, and people are like, whoa, this wasn't in my sub box because YouTube made a bad guess as to what people want to see. That's hurting. That hurts us, of course, and I don't want to have to every video be like, smash that, look at, we get 10 likes on this. I don't want to be that guy. But I'm just going to bring it up if it is an issue every once in a while. So here's one of the times I'm going to bring it up. But okay. Why are we doing this here? So we're here to talk about art. Art is one of these players. Okay, let me set this up. Art is one of the players who his stats don't matter, but that doesn't mean that he can have bad games. Okay, there are a few players in this category right now where it feels like they're IGLs. They're doing a specific thing. Their stats are tanking for it. They're just basically like going down or very erratic, and it's because of the role that's been coming up on the CT sides of like going out and getting info, and like Glaive, clearly one of the most important players on the team, even in terms of just impact with the kills that he gets, but the stats do not show it anymore. It feels like his stats are becoming less and less meaningful as the days go on. Boomich is another player. Kerrigan is another player. All of these guys are clearly, I think Boomich is the weakest of the few, where he's the most inconsistent, and it feels like his bad games show more. But like at Blast, he actually put up such a high level of form. He was in contention to be an MVP of the whole event. That's how good he was. But generally speaking, Boomich is very up and down. He plays some important spots. It feels like he can kind of lose the game or win the game, kind of like how Stewie is on Liquid. Like, has the capability to go off, but it's less often than it is, than it is normal for him to maybe like have a negative game or something like that. But art and Glaive, I think they play their role a little bit better in that regard, where like even when they're negative on a match, you still see the impact. It really isn't them being inconsistent. It's just that they take more risks, and so they like die a little bit more, but it's for info or specific purposes. And And that's great. But yeah, but this video is to show that even though Art might be better at that, and like clearly his impact rating is like through the roof, no matter how low his rating is overall or any of his other stats, that he can still have bad games, okay? That he can have both games that like he gets kills and doesn't play well in some sense. And here is one of those situations. Now, I will say that this is also a game to highlight how good NiKo was and how, you know, NiKo he is kind of one of the strongest, one of the strongest individual players in the game right now, bar none, in the top 4. I think there's no other place for him in that way. And he took over in this match versus G2, or this match versus Furia on Nuke, where we were looking at a game here, super important match, and we go over to Nuke, and NiKo, he's 23-12 overall. arT's 13-21. What's interesting about this is that on the CT side for arT, he's 9-7. He has 91 ADR, right? So that's actually very decent. But you go over to the T side, which is the opposite side of the same half for NiKo. He's 12-6, 113 ADR, and I swear to God, every single one of these 12 kills was arT. Every single round, this guy was killing arT. So we're going to find out why. And what I wanted to do, because I watched this game from the cast, and I saw that NiKo, I saw mostly from NiKo's perspective with X-ray on, you know, watered down for all the plebs who watch the tournament streams, that, you know, you could see everything like, oh, NiKo from his perspective, oh, he's doing a good job of killing arT, making it look easy. I want to know, and we want to know, what this looked like from arT's perspective, okay? Can we recuse arT of some of the blame here for dying each and every round when he played on this CT side of Nuke, where he was consistently challenging NiKo and losing every single round? I swear it felt like every single round he was dying, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the game. This is a match where immediately he goes up into the AWP. He's going to pick that up, and the idea here is... the game plan here is to control outside. Now, he's working with Honda. Honda is going to be the mini player. And, of course, Honda's coming in to replace Henny, but he doesn't come in as an opper top at this level, which is what I anticipated, because he can op. Instead, arT just fully, you know, ops almost every single round. And basically, yeah, like, you know, he has the money to op. They just won the first 2 rounds, so it makes sense that he's coming out for the op. And then he basically is just, yeah, we're going to see how he plays it. So right here, we have G2. You can hear him running through a fire, and that's because they accidentally mollied Secret shallow and had to cross while the smokes came up, so arT heard him. So this just basically the jig is up, right? He's going to be watching them, and he knows that they're in Secret, plus they're watching all the players downstairs. And at this point, G2, they're crowded, they're uncomfortable, and they come right back in arT outside, and it's just kind of like a free farm situation. I don't think he gets all the kills here, but I want to use some of these rounds to showcase how well actually arT was playing despite NiKo's existence, okay? Because it feels like arT would have had a pretty astronomical half if not for NiKo, but NiKo really changed that, changed the story around with the specific kills that he gets. So okay, there's a round he gets a kill, he dies, but it's enough impact, he sees them, he doesn't lose the op in a weird spot. Now he picks up an op again, and we're here to fight outside. And, oh, look, a gap in the smoke. He's going to be able to spot the cross. You always want to use that. He doesn't hit the shot, but he gets the info, right? That's all you need. So this influences this rotation right here to come downstairs. Very natural rotation once you have that information. And that's why it's always a mistake to have a gap, because you could say that a CT might throw a bad smoke on purpose, but if they throw the bad smoke on purpose, the information is still valid for the CTs, right? If a T throws it on purpose badly. The information for the CT spotting the cross, no one's crossed. They know. So that's the issue with some of these outside smokes, and you can really tell when it's on purpose or not, because it doesn't really favor them just because they don't see anybody cross. That's still information. So here we're gonna have a very natural squeeze. Okay, when outside control gets threatened, you see teams taking lobby control away from the Ts, because there can only be so many Ts, right? So you can have a situation where you see that they're outside, you think it's an outside default of sorts, so then naturally there's going to be less players to fight you if you take over lobby, and usually you've got 2 upstairs and you can have a 3rd as a rotator. You can have arT in this situation, plus Honda, you know, plus anybody else upstairs, right? And then you can you can take it over versus like one player who's maybe holding, maybe two players who are holding from G2, if that. And then if you have lobby control, you can fight upstairs. You have a really great retake spot. It's close to home. You can sit inside of the hut. Lots of cover. So that's why this is so normal. Now, of course, it's a game at this point because it's become so common that all the CTs are doing this. But look at the angles that get opened up just because he cleared inside hut. And now he actually eats a smoke here and falls out. And oh my god, such an uncomfortable position here for Art. I don't actually know what happens here, if they're going to try to attack him or not, but the instant rotation downstairs, and I guess they're trying to hope that it is, a play down to the lower site, and Art hits an absolutely incredible shot here in lower and gets taken out. And here's where the demo begins. Okay, here's where the games begin a little bit. We've had a couple of rounds where they played well enough. He's had some impact, and this is where he's been successful with opening kill percentage despite dying later on in the round. And okay, now we actually have we have one more save because otherwise there's no economy, and then the game plan towards outside. This is where this begins. So going back to what I was talking about before, having G2 set up the way they are, since it's natural to squeeze for like HUD control, lobby control, this kind of thing, as any team will do this versus other top teams. This is normal. And so sometimes you want to fake how many people are outside so that you can get the CTs to push in, so you can punish them for it, punish the HUD push, punish the lobby push, the squeaky push, whatever. What's really scary about this G2 and what we see in this game, and this is a real reference match for me for NiKo and how he can kind of take over a server and take over a game in a way that's almost unfair, is he can be your outside control in one player, and then you can have all of the other 4 members of G2 anywhere else. So if NiKo, who you normally have 2 or 3 people outside working outside control, if he can go outside all alone with assistance of just smokes but no other players, win his duels outside, not die outside, get control outside, fight, not just sneak in a secret and wait, like actually fight and win duels outside as if they want them, and then you still have all the players inside who are holding lobby control, ready to push ramp, anything like that normally. There's no good way to push, right? There's nowhere to push. It feels like that the T's have 6 players, right? That is the real special sauce here of having a player like NiKo, and this was a game that it showed it. Look at this peek. Okay, we get a Honda peek out of NiKo. He swings out to the side of that smoke, and I swear he doesn't waste a footstep. And I really wanted to see that specifically from arT's POV with no X-ray on, just to see how insane that looked, because it was basically like he knew exactly where art would be. He stopped on a dime. You see his crosshair shake because he's thinking about flicking, and then immediately NiKo takes him down, rifle to AWP, okay? Also important that we point out that it's rifle to AWP. Here's a situation where art has to save. He's going to get back on the op right after he gets the funds to do so, and at this point, we're here to look at what's going on in the lobby. Right now, we're not seeing a whole lot. I don't think there's anything interesting here that needs to be pointed out in terms of, him using a Mag 7. And now we move on to this next round, 9-13. Things getting a little bit sketchy. Art back on the op. And he's going for an aggressive play outside off the left side of the red, and now spotting here for the top of silo. His smoke here to support him on this push. It's very dynamic in the way that allows you to peek around it, opens up a lot of angles, and it's cool because it doesn't have to be, it's not that sensitive, right? You can really throw it down wherever you'd like. And now, okay, we get a player spotted outside. He can't get this kill. And every time art takes a shot, you have to give up a little bit of ground, right? You can't stay out in the open. And of course, art, he's going to fight for that position, but he can't afford to take too many risks here because you just can't die with an op to a rifle like this. So now he's spotting off the right side of the smoke. He's barely seeing a player outside crossing, but he can't take this player down. This player is a huge pest, and Honda ends up spraying him down. So this is what's huge. And let's see what happens to the round now. We get NiKo out. Art is not scared about outside at all. Not worried about the top of mini. Here he is, checking to see if anything is coming from this, but for the most part, they're clearly concerned about ramp or lower or whatever the case may be. The problem is dealt with. It was really about Honda being able to spray NiKo down through the smoke. And we were starting to see the game plan and the issue, of course, for Furia, where NiKo's being sent out here like a mercenary with the Phoenix armor to kill any CTs that he can find. All right, so they find this. And, oh my God, what a way to jump peek! Comes out backwards. I don't even know what to say about that. Oh, ridiculous! And hey, this is also again to show that art was a huge reason why they couldn't win this game, but also to show, and also to show how nuts NiKo was, considering how well art's playing. Okay. Okay, art sitting in the corner of the smoke. He hears one on the back of red, and good afternoon, good evening, and good night. NiKo, I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know. Like, what just, like, I don't even know. Do you know what I mean? Like, what was that? Okay, and up again. Let's give it another shot. That was real ridiculous. Basically, Art, like, he jumped up. I don't even think he made noise on that. I didn't see NiKo on his screen. NiKo completely dumpster him. So Art says, okay, I'm over this. I'm going to start playing inside. Let's see if we can change it up a little bit. He basically has run into NiKo outside in the same way a number of times at this point. Here he takes a shot. He actually gets the frag. This is huge. That's the lurk stop. Apparently, it's not an upstairs take. Does that completely blind. And again, we're seeing why. You know, he's got 97 ADR in the half of still finding impact despite NiKo showing up at every single corner. Like, where is this guy now? We don't even know. So he makes a rotation downstairs. As we see, this is a fake upstairs. And look, a shoulder. The shoulder of who? The shoulder of NiKo. The shoulder of Hunter's cousin right here. NiKo trades. Omanek dies in the front. NiKo literally trades through Omanek from behind him. It wasn't even a wall bang. It was a body bang. A bro bang. Okay? And that's the round right there. Completely decimated once again. Such important deaths that we're seeing in a situation where it feels like Art can go basically supernova. And yeah, he's just been basically dismantled and now relegated down to the M4. And it's, you know, because they just don't have the money for him to op. But what we saw in this game was like, why does Art continue to try the same things? You know, from Art's perspective, he's not necessarily doing the same things, but NiKo's making him feel like it's the same thing over and over again. Basically, there's one round they don't play outside, and NiKo gets his kill, his opening kill, to really kick things off, and there it is. You know, things just go haywire, basically, with that much control. Too much info on the ones they spotted. And they trade out efficiently upstairs. Okay. It's maybe a bit of an exaggeration to say NiKo killed Art every single round. But we see every single rifle round that was important. That Art had an op, that Art was playing well. NiKo was the guy to put him in the dirt. This was insane. I mean, it's just mind-bending, right? Because we're, you know, watching the game, casting, we're like, man, Art, you're just getting owned. You got to try something new. And we watch that and we're like, well, how can you not tell yourself, okay, next round will be different when you die in such absurd ways over and over again? So the ability for NiKo to be alone and make it feel like, you know, all those rounds he was by himself, right? Like going outside, it was like they needed so much time and attention to be able to kill him. Honda killed him once. Don't even think he died any other time to Art in that entire half. And meanwhile, the only kills that Art could get just like everyone else, if possible. If they could find someone else, then he'd go out and get that kill. But any situation he was opping versus rifling, he was just getting out-dueled. Absolutely hammered by NiKo with the Honda peak every single round. So yeah, that's just to show like how much the player like NiKo, like that level of rifler can have in terms of impact, and how, yeah, art can have a bad game despite the stats. And this, it doesn't really show how art can have a bad game despite his stats being, or how art can be impactful despite art having bad stats. It's kind of the opposite. Both things are pretty interesting, but yeah, you can see like where the deaths actually matter a lot in a negative way, and how if art dies outside, let's say art or another IGL like Glaive dies outside, the idea is to die outside and see 3 people, because that's enough info to win the round, right? But with NiKo, art knows he's only killing 1 dude, right? So like doesn't help you at all. He can't confirm that there's more players outside. It's almost always NiKo by himself. It just makes things impossible. And if NiKo's always alone, there's only 1 person outside, you have to punish, right? You have to go and take outside control. It's only 1 dude with a rifle, with an $2,700 gun. You got to kill this guy. That's your key to winning the round, but it's NiKo. That's what makes things really, really hard. So I thought that was an interesting one. I hope you enjoyed that one. Be back for another demo tomorrow. Let me know what you want to watch, and I'll try to make it happen. Sorry about the missing the upload yesterday. Really messed up. Finally had the day where I recorded without audio. Never thought the day would come. All right, take care, everybody.